Welcome to The Explainer. You know that incredible smell of freshly baked bread? We all love it, but if you've ever tried to make it yourself and just can't seem to nail it every time, trust me, you are not alone. So today, we're going to dig into the science that makes the difference between a good loaf and a great one. Turns out, precision might just be the secret ingredient you've been missing. So, does this sound familiar? You've got this dream of making fresh, homemade bread, but the reality is often a lot of guesswork and just waiting around. You follow that recipe to the letter, right? But the results, they can be all over the place. It's a huge frustration for home bakers who are chasing that perfect loaf, but sometimes end up with something kind of dense, maybe a little flat, because this is what we're all aiming for. That perfect bakery quality loaf. Look at that golden artisan crust, and the inside is going to be light and airy. But let's be real. Getting this kind of result over and over again in a regular home oven, that has always been the hardest part of baking at home. Now, here's something that might surprise you. The problem probably isn't your recipe. It's not. It's usually a lack of precision, specifically in the two most critical stages of baking. So let's dive into the science that really separates a failed loaf from a flawless one. All right, section 1, the science of a perfect rise. We're going to master fermentation and proofing. See, the secret to incredible dough, it's not magic. It's really about mastering the science of these two stages. This is where all the action happens. So what exactly are fermentation and proofing? Well, think of them as the two scientific stages where your yeast wakes up and your dough develops all its structure and flavor. Seriously, if you get these two things right, you get perfect bread. But if you get them wrong, the entire bake can fail. No pressure. And it all comes down to temperature. I mean, look at this. Yeast is a living thing, and it's super picky. If it's too cold, it gets sluggish and lazy. You get a slow, weak rise. But if it's too hot, you literally kill it, and your dough will never rise. Game over. You need that just right sweet spot, where the yeast is happy and active, producing all that CO2 to give you a light, airy dough. Okay, so here's the big question, right? How in the world are you supposed to bring that kind of lab-level temperature precision into your own kitchen? How do you nail that just right temperature every single time? Well, let's meet D'BakerAid. This is a home baking system that's powered by something called sourdough technology, and it's engineered to do exactly that, to completely remove the guesswork by scientifically managing the entire process for you. It really just simplifies the whole thing into 3 basic, scientifically calibrated steps: yeast fermentation, dough proofing, and steam baking. That's it. So step 1 is yeast fermentation. The system starts by waking up your yeast at its absolute ideal temperature. This makes sure it's awake, it's happy, and it's ready to get to work. You get perfectly activated yeast every single time. No more of that, is my yeast dead? Anxiety? And it's smart, too. It has these tailored programs for whatever kind of yeast you're using, dry, instant, fresh, because they all have slightly different needs. We're talking about achieving 90% more accuracy than just, hoping for the best with a bowl on your kitchen counter. Okay, on to step 2, dough proofing. Now that your yeast is ready to go, the sourdough technology guides your dough through a perfectly steady, controlled rise. The temperature is precise, giving you a perfect and, more importantly, a predictable rise. And just like with the yeast, different flours act differently, right? So there are specialized programs for white flour, mixed, whole grain, even sourdough. Each one is specifically tuned for how those flours behave, which means you get optimal gluten development and that beautiful volume every time. And for the final touch, step 3, steam baking. This is so cool. There's this little device called the de-steamer that basically transforms any home oven. It's a unique humidifier that adds a controlled amount of steam while your bread is baking, and that is the secret to getting that professional, super crispy crust. So, okay, we've talked a lot about science and precision, but what does this all actually mean for you, the home baker? What's the payoff? The proof, as they say, is in the bacon. Well, for one thing, it means saving a ton of time. We're talking 3 to 5 hours of waiting and checking time per bake. Imagine that. No more babysitting your dough all day. And how is that possible? It's thanks to this incredible temperature precision. It's stable to within plus or minus 1 degree Celsius. That is a level of control that's basically impossible to get in a normal home kitchen. And the transformation is just, well, you can see it right here. This is especially huge for busy families. I mean, think about pizza night. You can go from this little ball of dough to a perfectly proofed, airy base just like that. Let that sink in. Perfectly double-proofed pizza dough in just 2 hours. That's a total game changer. It makes homemade pizza a quick and easy weeknight meal, not some big weekend project you have to plan for. And on top of all that speed, there's the health angle. With something they call NutriSafe technology, the system actually preserves 100% of the vital nutrients and enzymes in your dough. So not only is it faster, it's better for you. And it's not just a concept. Over 30,000 home bakers are already using this. Listen to what Sarah M. had to say. I went from inconsistent loaves to bakery quality bread every single time. The fermentation control is absolutely game-changing. That says it all, really. And it's not just home bakers who are impressed. Even world-renowned pastry chefs like Dudu Outmasjeen, who has over 1 million followers, trusts its professional-grade performance. He says, the precision it brings is exactly what every serious baker needs. So when you step back and look at the big picture, the system does more than just make better bread. It completely reimagines your kitchen. It transforms baking from something that can be kind of stressful and unpredictable into something that's just joyful and full of confidence. Which really leaves us with one last question for you. With all the guesswork gone, with all the signs taken care of for you, what will you create first? You get to focus on the creativity and the joy of sharing, which is what baking is all about.